Ukrainian regions. Let's talk now to Jeremy Waiser. He's campaign director of the global advocacy network Avaaz, which conducted the poll. He joins us via Skype from Ottawa in Canada. James Waiser, the poll seems to show that most Ukrainians prefer their country to be equally aligned with Russia and the West. Briefly, tell us a little bit more about the poll and why you conducted it.
Well, thank you, Darren. With all the tension that we've just heard and the saber-rattling and the brinksmanship from the global leaders involved in the crisis, we think that what's been missing most is the voice of the Ukrainian people, those who are going to be most affected as this crisis risks getting any worse. And so we hope that the results of this poll getting out into the press will be heard by the global leaders and will be listened to. What the poll shows is a surprising amount of agreement on fundamental issues key to the country's future. For example, as you said, an overwhelming majority support a plan for the parties to come together, to negotiate, to guarantee the rights of minorities, to see the withdrawal of Russian troops back to bases, and fair elections to be held in the spring with international monitoring. And again, as you said, across the country, and even a preponderance of Crimeans do not want to see alignment either with Russia or the West. They would like to see equal ties with both.
Yeah, I mean, the flashpoint, of course, James, is Crimea. Tell us a bit more about the feelings there. How many people really want closer ties with Russia, as Moscow seems to suggest?
Right. Well, interestingly, the poll found that more people in Crimea wanted ties to be equal between Russia and the West than to have stronger ties with the Russians. And yes, in Crimea, the majority of people were supportive of having a referendum. But interestingly, the results showed that they also wanted to see a referendum happen with international monitoring. And that's a pretty different prospect from what we're expecting to see on Sunday, where we won't see such monitoring, but we will have Russian boots on the ground.
What about the division in opinions about the removal of the former President Yanukovych and also the key issues that started this crisis in the first place?
Well, interestingly, I mean, there's certainly some divisions across regions of the country, but on the question of the removal of Yanukovych, there was a majority in every single part of the country polled from Kiev to Crimea. So again, some surprising findings that I'm not sure is really being paid attention to by global powers. And what I think part of this poll is suggesting is that it's time for these global leaders to stand down and listen to the democratic voices of the Ukrainian people and not just talk over them.
James Waiser, thank you for talking to Al Jazeera.
Thank you.